G'day, this is Captainoob and welcome to Season 2 of Fallout 76 Weapon Spotlights. Not a lot's going to be changing except for the Fallout 76 on the thumbnail. It's going to be on the other side now, so big changes are being made. Anyways, this is an anti-armor plasma rifle with an automatic barrel. Going to be using this with a stealth commando build. Yeah, so I've been eager to test these things out since patch 9 because as we all know of patch 9, if you're paying attention to the trajectory of this game, plasma guns have been a little bit buffed. They're actually doing pretty good damage now, so 25 and 25 ballistic and energy damage respectively is a good start. Don't really know what this thing was hitting before the patch, and I don't really care to look back, but taking a look at the handmade rifle, we're actually doing damage on par with that when we add both the ballistic and energy damage together, so that's pretty damn good. So couple that with the rate of fire, this actually is pretty damn good. I'll just equip that so you can see. So we get better range, obviously, because we don't have a suppressor, better accuracy, and better fire rate, which is going to be pretty potent in terms of DPS. So let's go ahead and get into the build. So let's do that. So first of all, we're not going to be chucking on ground pounder. That's because I've got the true barrels and stocks and vicious capacitor. All of those things increase my hipfire accuracy and reload speed. I've already got speed demon, yeah, that one, and that'll increase my reload speed a bit, so I'm not really concerned about hipfire and reload speed. I think we can go alright without those. So a little bit of armor penetration, hopefully. It's an energy weapon, we don't really know unless we get the creation kit. That'll be later when we actually get mod support. We can actually look under the hood of this game, but hopefully it does work. We'll replace the usual ground pounder with tank killer there, and of course we're going to be chucking on a little bit extra damage from Bloody Mess. No Mr. Sandman in here. We've replaced that with Action Girl and Born Survivor, and 3 ranks of Sneak too, so a little bit of a reshuffle of those points. Now we're doing 46 ballistic and energy damage respectively, which is pretty good. Alrighty, so here we are outside of Moody's Plaza with our plasma gun. That's a huge zoom, that's way more than you get in Fallout 4, isn't it? Also, I've got a green dress to suit the green plasma rifle, it works. Anyways, here are my things. They're all chameleon now. I've actually replaced Standfast because I got this one with that AP regeneration, which is good. And here are my buffs. Alrighty, let's get started then, shall we? First of all, just burst fire this a little bit so we can get a feel of what this thing's recoil is like. And you might notice a little bit of lag. In fact, I might actually just turn off a download so I get better internet connection, because this is severely hampering my ability to fight. Alrighty, back into it now, and we've actually leveled up, which gives us plus 10, which is not too bad. And keep in mind, whenever we do a critical, we are doing extra damage thanks to the vicious capacitor there, which seems to be flattening the super mutants on those critical strikes, so having this do pretty good so far. Whether it's actually punching through the armor, we don't really know. Perhaps we'll know a little bit later when I test other legendary plasma guns, namely the vampires one. Why am I not sneaking? That's bad. Alrighty. So, we're still in caution, which means someone's still out here. I think. No, we're good. Okay, we'll go around. But first, damage at 60%. 82 and 82. Yeah, it's about the same as you'd get from a handmade rifle. The handmade rifle just doing 1 damage more when we add the ballistic and energy together. Now, one of the flaws for the plasma guns in their old games was the speed of the projectiles, and as you can tell, this thing isn't hit scan, so, you know, that might cause problems if you want to aim at range. But since we're using this as a close-range stealth commando weapon, we're not actually doing too bad. And we're chopping through these super mutants very quickly when we've got this thing amped up with Sneak 2, and 27 in the magazine. I don't think we had that much last time. Did they buff the magazine size as well? I don't really know. Yeah, I haven't used a plasma gun in a long time. See, the game's never really given us an incentive to use these things because, you know, they were never good. That's why they buffed them. Also, perfect 3-star pull queue. Okay, thank you, Bethesda. Yeah, I'm not mad at you because you gave me rage too. Alrighty, so now we're inside. We're at about half health, which is just fine because provided that we don't get hit, that'll only serve to benefit us in the whole damage thing. And that was wall hacks with a plasma gun. Thank you, random criticals. And again. Wow, was that like 3 wall hack kills in a row? Perfect. Okay, that one was different. You can shoot through those normally. But when we go ahead and panic fire there, and there's another thing. Oh, good. Now I'm over capacity. I'm going to drop this. Stand by. Yeah, they're putting out plenty of legendaries for me of recent, so, you know, that's pretty nice. Having those high charisma characters seem to loosen up Todd Howard's legendary grips just a little bit, but we're first with the... we're through this first group. Now, only problem with using this thing is that subsequent spawns of this place may be a little bit damaged, thanks to this thing leaving the occasional... Shut up. Occasional puddle of goo, and sometimes it actually causes enemies to not respawn properly, so I'm kind of screwing over the next person who decides to clear out this place, and yeah, looks like we might have to rely on stealth to get those really quick kills, and relying on bats to, ooh, yeah, you really can't see all that much. I'm gonna fall back, actually. Fall back. So aiming down sights, there's a lot of, there's a big flash on the screen when you fire this thing that's kind of constricting around, so honestly, going for hip fires is good. The reflex sight, however, does have a use in terms of its VATS AP usage, so it's not a loss, but yeah, not a big fan of these thing sights, although, you know, it's supposed to be a prototype, isn't it? That's why it looks like that. I don't really know. See, the Enclave, they refined it. Their one does more damage, you see. But when we can get away with three-shotting people and VATS, this is where this thing really, really shines, as you can tell. Alright, we'll move on to this section here. Switch to third person. Oh yeah, so the recoil's super manageable here. It's more of the weapon blocking your own view that I'm sort of worried about. And unfortunately, without a suppressor, we get spotted a little bit more frequently we get spotted. But we do have escape artists, 3 ranks of sneak, and all these chameleon bits, so, you know, losing that detection of us is not going to be a problem whatsoever.
You die.
We'll see about that, mutie. Oh, we were getting a ton of adrenal reaction then. We're sitting at pretty much perfect health there that, what's that thing? Born Survivor wouldn't proc, but, pretty good so far out of this. I know I've got a bloodied one, I've still got that, so I want to try that out one day with all of the buffs, because I'd imagine the damage would be very impressive now that it has been buffed, but quite happy that they've actually given us a use to actually use these things, even though they cause goo pile glitches, which I'm sure Bethesda either don't know about, and now I am a little bit outgunned, so I'm going to go over here where I'm not getting shot at by a bunch of super mutants. Quickly duck into this room before I die. You're only a sledgehammer guy, so you can die very easily. Alright, we're playing a little bit aggressively. See, without stealth on our side, we're struggling a little bit against the super mutants, especially when they're swarming in like this. But if we can just funnel them through one at a time, which we're able to do quite easily here, we can take them out pretty easily. So you have to limit your aggressiveness when it comes to weapons like this. I'm sure in the ghoul section later on we're going to get swarmed pretty early on. We can't play this like we're using a suppressed weapon. We have to apply a little bit more caution to our gameplay. What the fuck are you laughing at, mate? What do you think is so funny? Also, where the hell are you? Ah, okay.
Kill you quick.
Kill you quick. Well, you've been trying, I'll give you that much. My stim packs are a little bit less than what they usually are with suppressed weapons, but no matter. Just, again, ease up on that aggression and you'll have yourself a easier time clearing out these super mutants. And now we are done. So, a pretty quick time there. I don't time these weapons, but I know your weapon's good when it clears them out as quick as that. So yeah, unsuppressed, or imagine suppressed plasma barrels. There's your idea, Bethesda. Make those things a thing. That'd be awesome. Also laser guns as well, so we can have silent pew-pews going around the place. I reckon that'd make them a whole lot better, even though that's never happened before. But who cares? It's Fallout 76, right? Alright, I've prepared for this a little bit better today in the fact that I've made sure I got rid of those radworms before I start this. And yes, notice how there's a bunch of piles of disintegrated ghoul there. That actually worries me, because with those I want to actually get a full spawn. So there's 2 missing in this room, and how many ash piles were there? Heaps. And with that, okay, looks like these ghouls aren't bothering to put up a fight. Alright, we're in danger now, so hopefully they'll tell all their mates that I'm here. And whilst we've got some AP, we might as well just just crit you. That better not give me Sludge Tongue. Actually, no, I wouldn't have triggered the reset of the disease timer yet, because the game likes to give you a period where you're immune to diseases once you first get them. I guess so you couldn't stack diseases properly. I don't really know. So yes, I have been informed that it isn't a bug that these guys look like that. They're supposed to look like that. Perhaps they always supposed to look like that, or always were supposed to look like tennis golfers or whatever. Tennis golfers, what even is that? But yeah, they look like that now, which means it's hard to tell which ones are, you know, what they are as a glance. You have to actually look on them and hover your crosshair over them so you can see. There's a nice sneak attack critical there. Yeah, to see whether or what type of ghoul they are. Yep, that one right there. He is disintegrated and thus didn't spawn, and it looks like a couple of these ones in here didn't do that. So it looks like that's a bug that Bethesda need to patch out, because you could potentially screw a lot of people over with that, particularly if you were like nuking this place and you decided to create a bunch of ash or goo piles first and you limit the spawns, unless it doesn't really work that way. But regardless, here I was robbed of a few kills and a little bit of action because of that, and I'm not really happy about that. But hopefully putting that bug out there in the ether, calling attention to it, will help it get squashed. So yeah, get to it, Bethesda, or I'll sick winter onto you. Alrighty, looks like these crabbies are gonna get their ass whooped first, so let's do that. Also, having a look at this thing's condition, it's holding up okay. It's doing alright. It's not like super good in terms of its durability, but it's not, you know, breaking apart in two magazines like certain other weapons. Looking at you, laser rifle. Although they did fix that now, didn't they? But yeah, I don't think I've looked at a laser rifle since. But was that a... I think we just one-shotted a glowing Mirelurk there, which is pretty good. And that's no glow sight either. Where are you, by the way? I'm just going to shoot you like this. Get you in the noggin. There you go. Do we have a grenade ready for the old mate Queen? Looks like we do. Now, this is the true test right here. We'll see how good this thing really is. Oh, yeah, that's better. If I had been actual on target with that, that Queen would have died a lot more quicker than that. And again, is that 6? Yes, that is. 80 and 80. 160. Yep. So basically kind of on par with a handmade rifle there, which is pretty good for an energy weapon considering, you know, what they were like before this whole patch. So, yep. Looks like we'll find Swan, hopefully, and then we'll take a bat. Now, when it comes to fighting with automatics with high rate of fire in VATS, you'll find that generally you'll go better if you've got a very good chance to hit anyway when you start off with a VATS crit. So we don't have a crit ready, but 88% chance I'm willing to say that'll hit. And there we go, we can one mag Swan. Very, very good there with some Stealth Care Man doing with that. Stealth critically, I can't even speak right now. You know why? It's because the plasma rifle is good and it's left me speechless. So, yeah, it's a good recovery. Alrighty, so now it's time for the Scorch Beasts fight, where boys become men and winters become blizzards. Now, something that I haven't really spoken about yet is how rock solid the hit detection with this thing is. I think I've noted in the past that sometimes the missile projectiles this thing fires, at least as far as the creation kit's concerned, going off my Fallout 4 knowledge of this game, yeah, a lot of them, you know, they get there and they actually hit when you hit them. So, you know, apart from my shitty aiming and excellent dodging skills by the Scorch Beast there, yeah, we actually are getting most of the hits, if not all of them, ready, which is great. It's good stuff. Now, targeting a Scorch Beast at this range is a little bit problematic because it's not a hit scan weapon, so you kind of have to wait for it to come a little bit close. But luckily, there's VATS if you really want to aim this thing, but I want him to get a little bit closer so we can actually get a good burst on him. That's good. There we go. We are in danger now. We've lost our cloak ability, or I've lost the Cloak of Night. Back in the caution now. Be sure to burst fire a little bit when you get those initial shots, especially if it's like under 50, because that'll allow concentrated fire if you've got that equipped to actually boost the fire or boost the accuracy in time for the game to register that your shots ought to be more accurate. So that's a good way of making sure this thing does hit if you decide to use it in VATS. But if you've got something up close and personal, 80 to 90%, even high 70s, just hold down the trigger, go full auto, and you'll be just fine. And despite having all the true stuff on it, true barrel, true grip or stock, this thing is actually not too bad in the recoil. There's a little bit of controlling to do compared to most of the other things, but I feel like that having a true barrel, you know, giving you the good hip-fire accuracy that you need with this, and also accuracy, it's not too bad hitting those guys from that range there. 30% is pretty solid. And yeah, you can obviously Speed Demon, you know, removes the need to use Ground Pounder, allowing you to hopefully get more damage out of Tank Killer there, which will increase your armor penetration even more if you're using an unarmed armor penetrating or armor piercing AA anti-armor. Yeah, got it the third time. Plasma gun, which has been hell of a lot of fun to use. I'm not actually sure whether the ballistic damage is ignoring armor because energy weapons seem to be a little bit weird. Again, we'd actually need the creation kit to have a look under the hood of Fallout 76, or the bonnet. That's the correct term, by the way, to see how this thing actually works, or see how things work like that. We've got data miners now, but that's not as easy as just browsing through the weapon forums and seeing what kind of legendary effects or enchants the weapons may have on them and their effects, which is actually quite interesting. If you have Fallout 4 on PC, I do recommend you grab the creation kit. Even if you're not making mods with it, just have a browse of what sort of things are there, if I could fucking remember how to speak. So anyways, if you'd like to see this thing in your game, well, I'm probably going to put this on my vendor. I'll be selling it for, I don't know how many, but it's a pretty solid weapon, so I do highly recommend you grab it if you don't have any other plasma rifles in your inventory worth using, because, yeah, this one's pretty good. Thank you for watching, guys.